Hi, Mary Grisbeck, Queenmlv. It's May 18th, 2010. May 18th for those who celebrate it. I had a pretty productive week. First, I got an order from pieceworks.com. That's P-I-E-C-E works.com. If you haven't been there, you might want to go look at their fabrics. They've got great sales, and I just joined the email list, so they notify me when there's a sale. They notified me that they were having a fat quarter sale. Their fat quarters are usually 25 fat quarters for $25. Last week they were 25 fat quarters for $20. So I got 25 purple ones and 25 green ones. Those are the colors I'm running a little short on because of the Harry Potter quilt. So I'll show you a picture of the fat quarters I got. I also got a yard of this pretty Thimbleberries fabric that I can use for backgrounds in some of my squares, and for some reason they always send me a free pattern. Kind of fun. The greens and purples I've already used quite a bit of. I made some of the 9 patches with the 5-inch squares because when I put these get cut into fourths to make my little blocks that I showed you. I did put up a layout wall. That was like the easiest thing in the world. I had to email Jennifer and say, how do you do this? And the instructions are just hanging on the wall basically. So what I did was I took my tablecloth. It's hanging right over there. I just put a buttonhole in the top 2 corners and put the little removable hooks on there, and it's hanging over a quilt on my wall. I'll show that to you. Isn't that easy? And so I found out that I didn't have, these are the Charm Pack things, I found out I didn't have enough, so I used some of my purples and greens that I got from pieceworks.com and I'm going to put those in there. Being the mathematical genius that I am, these come out to, each 9 patch makes 4 squares, so I'm making a little throw with 7 squares per row, and it's turning out really nicely. Let's see, Harry Potter quilt. I made several blocks. I'll start with Jennifer, So Hooked Jennifer. Her Gringotts is so pretty, isn't it? And you notice that this has the side on it like all of mine have from the beginning, and that's why I was on Pieceworks. I'm running out of that because who knew when I started this quilt that it was going to be so big. So I did this one by Jennifer, and then I did her giant squid. Who knew he was so purple? But you know, when you get a fat quarters that are purple, you turn out with the purple giant squid. Errol, that's one of the greens I got. He's so fun. Then Nagini, she's one of the greens I got. I have 2 of those. So that's 4 blocks that made me feel pretty productive. Then I did make Azkaban. These are designed by Alcy, and really a nice pattern. It comes out looking like Alcatraz, if you know anything about Alcatraz and Al Capone. But Misha29 did the troll, and he turned out really creepy. He's not one of the greens. The green I used on him is the one that I'm doing in that New York Beauty that's not finished. So those are the blocks I did this week. let's see what else. Oh, I did want to tell you a story. You know how these mass emails get started? It starts when somebody goes online, starts posting something repeatedly, gets all this group involved, and next thing you know, it goes international, and, well, we all know our friend Beshnila. She's been asking about the Bowtruckle pattern, and asking. Well, she asked me, I responded, all of a sudden I'm getting these emails, and have you seen a Bowtruckle pattern? Has anybody seen a Bowtruckle pattern? What is a Bowtruckle pattern? And then it goes international. I'm sure you're getting the same emails I am. Donde está el Bowtruckle pattern? Qu'est-ce que c'est ce Bowtruckle pattern? Qu'est-ce que c'est un Bushnila? And our French friends, and you know who you are, don't tell Bushnila if I just called her a flying monkey. So I thought, well, I will just nip this in the bud. Bushnila, I have made you a Bowtruckle. This purple thing, I have purples and greens now. The purple can be sky, and this can be more of a tree if you prefer. When I say I made you a Bowtruckle, I didn't. These are not for you. These are for my daughter's Harry Potter club. But I made you a Bowtruckle pattern. That's not true either, because this pattern goes in the garbage because it's on my computer. But I will use the Google machine to put it on your computer, and you may have a Bowtruckle pattern. So we're going to nip this international thing in the bud. Bowtruckles are fun to talk about. Let me see if I have any tips for you. Oh, the greens and purples that I got, all of those piles of greens and purples will now go into, like all the greens will go into a gallon Ziploc bag. The other purples will go in with the ones I already had. And this all came about when I became a serious paper piecer several years ago. And I would think, okay, I need a piece of red for this heart. And I'd think, I used a red in the whatever, or did I have a red in the pumpkins that I did? Or so I would go digging through my piles because they were organized by project or by fabric type or by designer or something like that for this little tiny piece of red or whatever color I needed. And so I would go to the fabric store and I would say, I need blue for a sky and I need green for a tree. And they'd say, well, what kind? And then I'd go to check out, and they learned finally to stop asking me, what are you going to make with this? Because I really am taking the batik and the 20s replica and the Moda, very modern thing, and putting them on the same square, and they couldn't deal with that. So I tried explaining to them in my fabric shop that fabrics are my palette, and I use them as I would a paint palette. And so I'm more interested in color and of course quality than I am in fabric style or pattern print. So that's when it occurred to me that I could save a lot of time. If you'll excuse me a minute. I could save a lot of time. This is some of my fabrics. If I would then separate my fabrics by color. So here are my blues. Here are my purples before my new ones. You can see why I need new ones. So anyway, that's a tip if you're going to be a paper piecer, not just as a hobby, but kind of what you do routinely. You might want to separate your fabrics by color. Meantime, you guys just have a great week. Bye.